Oh my goodness, there we go. Okay, hi. I have been trying to go live and freaking out because first of all, hi, how's your day? Uh, I've been frantically trying to go live. It let me set everything up. I pushed go live and it said going live. And then it said, oh, live not available right now. And I was like, ah, uh, whew. So I changed to my mobile hotspot. I believe I have enough battery. For whatever reason, that was the magic button for it. So the good news is we're here. So, hi, welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Fable. For the next hour, thank goodness, we will do tapping together, also known as EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. I will give you a brief introduction of how things go here, and then we'll jump right into it. There is a lot of really incredible research and findings that have been done and published through proper channels and scientific study. But that's not what we're here for. Today is for you to experience it in person, in the moment, in your own body. So if you have questions about how EFT works, we have tons of videos on our channel for that. It is EFT Universe right here on YouTube. Or you can always email me and I'm happy to chat with you. But how we're going to do tapping today is maybe a little different if you've experienced it before. What we do is I have a live chat that runs the entire time. And at any point, you can throw in a suggestion to tap on. I do my very, very best to incorporate all of the ones that are inputted. And I try to give you ways to adjust what we're tapping on, just all of the ones that are inputted. And I try to give you ways to adjust what we're tapping on, just in case it's not exactly what you came and were hoping to tap on. I don't tend to go through all of the tapping spots. If you know what I'm talking about, we usually start here and then bounce around the face and then here first, then here. But I want to be as boring as possible as I'm here to guide you, offer you suggestions. But the important place of what's happening is right in your own body. So, what I don't want is for me to be moving along in the process and you're somewhere really deep and something's happening. And then you look and I'm in a different tapping spot and you're pulled out of that because you're worried you weren't keeping up with me. Not a thing. So, I will generally stay here or here. Okay. I want you to tap on all the spots, as many spots as you want for as long as you want, what feels good in your body. Because we're working on building that communication, right? In your own physical body, from your conscious brain, your subconscious brain, how they communicate. That's the purpose. So that's why it's a little bit different than maybe a session if you've had one in person. Let's see what else. Oh, and if you want to contribute something, you want to know how to tap on something, but it's a little too personal to put it in the live chat on the internet, you can always email me that as well. And then I can bring it up the following week anonymously so that you still have a chance to see, first of all, support from our lovely community, but then also how to tap on something that's vulnerable. Let's see what else. What else do I normally say? I am highly symptomatic today, so I may be a little bit off kilter from what you're used to with me. So if it's your first time here, I'm so glad you're here, but it might be a little different. And for those of you that's not your first time, mwah, welcome back. Sorry I didn't say that at the beginning. But we're not here to be perfect. We are here to exist together, to get the support and the love and the care that does exist in this world with each other, and to alleviate some of the stress and overwhelm that we are experiencing and gain a little bit of empowerment in that. So, however it is that you're showing up, I'm so glad that you're here. I do have one suggestion from our community member, which I think is an excellent point to bring up. So I'm really excited to share it with you. I'm going to say hi in the comments, and then I will share that. Then we'll get grounded real fast. We'll get into tapping. Okay. Let's see. As it started, I'm so sorry. I was struggling so hard. Hi, Dr. Scott. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Zarina. Thanks for hanging out, wondering what was happening those first few minutes. Hi, Trisha. Yay. I'm glad that it's working out too. Thank you. Hi, Tanya. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The suggestion that came through this week is what I like to call an unanswerable question. Now, of course, it can have an answer because people can always respond whatever they want to any question, right? What I mean by that is a concrete answer that you can always use as a foundation. It's consistent, it's reliable, it's practical, it's logical, all of those things, right? That's what I mean by an answer. And the question was, what do we deserve? And how do we answer that? And then people answer that differently depending on the input that they've received, right? Some people love that question because they're like, "Ah, I deserve everything. And other people, feel sad or angry, because I love, well, I deserve better than this. But the whatever reason they're not getting it. Some people are scared of that question because they feel like they deserve negative things. And it can be really, really hard to find a happy place with that question if where you're coming from isn't ideal. So that's why I call it an unanswerable question. So in tapping, to approach that rather than chase it all around, and where did this come from, and what are the harmful beliefs that I have, and how is it getting in my way, and how do I get rid of that? How do I build new bridges? That can be a lot to take on. Worthy of time, sure, because you will find insights all along the way. But where's something that can really impact with that, right? And that's what I want to get into after we ground. I want to do that first because I want to start tapping along with the answer. So there's my little yummy hook. Just gonna make sure. Okay, good, good. Oh, okay. This says top chat. I want messages. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get grounded. So just take a breath wherever you are. Just breathe in and out. And breathe normal. Just for a few breaths. Let's do another deep breath. In and out. And really let your body relax. Really bad posture. It's okay for a few moments. Let's do one more breath in and out. We're letting the body know we're relaxing right now. We're gonna take a moment. This moment may be different than other moments that we've had today. Okay, and as we're sitting here, breathing, bad posturing, I want you to think about different layers in your whole body. So imagine the layer of energy. And if it were like an interface, where would that be? Would it be patchy? Would it be non existent? Would you have a little bit, maybe you're like, well, I know my heart's beating, so there's some energy here. Do you have too much energy? Is your body just, too much going on in your head? Where do you see this interface of energy in your body? Where do you feel it? Where do you sense it? Let's take another breath. Now let's go for another interface. So when you think of the word emotion, and you might have a particular emotion pop up, and that's great. Where do you see the interface of emotion? How strong is that one? And does it make sense? Is it to the form of your body, or is it kind of like it's really big and bulbous in certain areas? Is it actively doing something? Is it spinning in some places? Is it glowing or vibrating? And we're just noticing, we're becoming aware just how things are currently active in our bodies in a creative way. Let's take a breath. Okay, let's check in on the interface of pain and really look at this in like a third party curiosity way. We don't want to fall into any pain signals right now. We're just curious, checking in on them. So, what does that look like in your body? Where is your body commuting communicating pain? And is it affecting other parts of your body? Is it creating an experience because of pain? Let's take a breath in and out. And then this last one, to kind of see all those layers that we've already talked about. And now we're going to look for, where's the layer of healing? How does that exist? And how does it interact with the other ones that we've just identified and recognized? Where do you notice that in your body? And how is it affecting you when you focus on it right now? And just ponder that, and let's take another breath. Now, that was very different than we normally ground, so I'm interested to know how that went for you, if you would like to share. So thank you for your input, Amanda. This beginning tap, let's go right into the unanswerable questions. Other questions that could look like this are, am I lovable? Will I ever be lovable? Will I ever be successful? Am I safe? See, with someone I had, am I desirable? Am I capable? A lot of things that there are metrics given, right, in our societies, whether we're talking about society at large as humanity, a particular country or city or family or group. It could be a friend group, it could be a religious group, it could be a community group, school, education. That's not what I meant to say. Work situation. There's another word for that I'm looking for. It's okay. We'll leave it. Work works. When you are asking these questions and answers are not readily available, there's a few ways to approach it. So let's go ahead and start tapping. And go ahead and think of an unanswerable question that you have. One of the ones that I've listed, or another one that popped into your mind because of the ones that I said. I will go ahead and use the one that was suggested, which is, what do I deserve? What do I deserve? What does anybody deserve? So as you ponder your unanswerable question, go ahead and say it out loud multiple times. And just notice how you feel about the question. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice how it feels in your mind as you consider it. Does it feel big? Does it feel far away? Does it feel confusing? Does it feel dangerous? Does it feel heavy? Do you feel an emotional response to it? Do you feel worried, angry, exhausted, hopeful, desirous? Is there anyone who pops into your mind? Do you think of yourself at a younger age? Do you think of someone that you care about, someone that hurt you, someone that you look up to that you maybe have never met? And we're just kind of gathering pieces. We're gathering perspectives. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a breath. We've already covered some things that could be a little bit triggering. So let's just breathe that out a little bit. Okay. Let's do a little bit of phrase work. As I consider this question, I deeply and completely accept myself. As As I notice how this question affects me, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. As I become clear on everything that I think and everything that I feel when I ask this question, and there are things about it I don't like, that I don't want, but I don't know what to do about that yet. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder if this question feels this way to me. Why do I keep asking it? What is it that I believe the answer will give me? As I consider what this answer to this question will give me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Maybe I really need it. I really need it to heal. Maybe I really need it to set me free. Maybe I really need it to finally have permission. Even if I believe some or all of these, and even others, can only come by answering this question. I hold space to learn something different, to find something different. No, no, different does not exist. It cannot exist. That is impossible. This is truth. I've always known it. And the only way for me to get what I need is by conquering this question. Even if this is what I feel when I consider choosing something different, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself and hold space. Because if it's true, then I won't find anything. And maybe I will have wasted a couple minutes of my time. But if I do find something, it could be really impactful. So even if I don't yet see how it could be any different, I give myself permission right now to be curious, to just think, ask, look. I can do that for a few minutes. This question, this question that I need answered. this question that I need resolved. I wonder, how did I decide that it was the way? Where did I get that from? Maybe when I ask, I immediately think of things, and maybe I don't know yet. But does it even make sense to not question something? Oh yes. Yes it does. Because from the beginning of time, principles have never changed. Not once. Rules are the exact same. Circumstances are immovable. Those never change. And certainly everybody always has the exact same ideas. So it is very important that I grip hard onto this question exactly how it is. Hmm. Hmm. Well, ugh, when I look at it that way, maybe it could make sense in a different way. Maybe it really is a different perspective. Okay, but what? I still want the outcome, and now I don't have a way to ask for it. Hmm. A way to ask. A different way to ask. A different way to ask for my outcome. Well, when you ask different questions, you get different answers. Maybe that'll be okay. I give myself permission to continue to be curious. Well, I wonder if I'm not asking what I deserve or the question that you're asking. What can I ask instead? Well, maybe I ask, what do I want? Oh, that's a big question. That may be uncomfortable. That may be too much. Okay, if that's too much, maybe I could also ask, what do I like? What do I enjoy? What are my gifts? What are my talents? What do I feel I could offer? Maybe I already kind of offer it. Maybe I am waiting to figure out how. But whether or not I'm currently expressing it, I give myself permission to ask, what could I offer? Okay, I guess I could ask those questions, but what does that give me? Fair? Maybe different questions give me clarity. Because when I ask the question, what do I deserve? Who am I asking? And under what context are they giving me the answer? And while someone might be able to look at me and determine certain things, how could they possibly know? How could they know? Even the person who is the closest to me in my life, I could never truly offer them what it feels like in my body, the thoughts in my head. I can try, but they'll filter it through their own brain. And I don't know, maybe we get close, maybe we don't. But if what I want is to be seen, to be heard, to feel satisfied, to connect, to be useful, to be helpful, to be loved, someone else might be able to help me with that. But isn't it true that I feel it in my body? So what if I got real clear on what that is? And maybe once I know, once I feel clear, and I have those answers, maybe this other question could feel smaller. Maybe this other question won't be as important. Or maybe I'll feel like, oh, I stumbled on the answer and I didn't even realize it. It sounds good. It's not what I was taught. Feels weird. Not sure I can trust it. Weird. Not sure I can trust it. Even if, as I consider this different way of approaching myself, I might feel a little hesitant because it's unfamiliar. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I wonder, how can I give it a try? How could I try it out? Maybe it doesn't have any value, but maybe it has all of the value that counts. How will I know? I suppose I could pick one question and just get clarity. Okay, what will clarity give me? Maybe it'll give me action steps, such as maybe I feel like my gift is writing, but I've never written anything, so I feel silly for thinking that that's a gift. Okay, well, maybe I write something. Maybe I jump in on a writing blog or a class of some sort. And I don't put any pressure on myself for it to mean anything yet. I'm just getting clear. Just the next step. My question. Getting clear. Just the next step. What do I deserve? What do I want? What do I like? What am I good at? What do I have to offer? As I allow space for these other questions to hold energy and create action in my life, I allow myself to experience the outcome and continue to continue asking questions, and moving forward from there. And as I do this, I also deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause on tapping, take a deep breath. Now take just a moment and consider the question that you chose. And notice how your body feels right now. Notice if it impacts you in the same way. But if you're feeling less impacted by the question, if it feels more distant, if it feels smaller, if your body is feeling tingly or just more at ease, if you were yawning, sighing, or just more at ease, if you were yawning, sighing, crying, giggling, having epiphanies, feeling more empowered, feeling more positive, all those are signs that you successfully communicated something to your subconscious brain where it said, oh no, I like this new thing. Let's work from that. And now it is refiguring things up there, even when you're not tapping. And that's amazing. So good job. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, Trisha, 2 things coming up today. After 3 hours, our toe is not broken. Oh, so sorry. What a miserable place to have pain too, because you walk around, you're always reminded of it. Head pain is is horrible too. Worried about my landlord's message, wanting to talk about my rent. Oh, I can see why. That sounds ominous. Just scrolling through, making sure I didn't miss. So I'm not seeing other suggestions in the chat right now. So if you put a suggestion in, it didn't pop up on my end other than Trisha's. So I just wanted to say that so no one thinks I'm skipping over you just in case. But let's go ahead and focus. Let's do physical pain because that's always a good one to work on, right? And if you're not experiencing what we typically call physical pain, like you have a physical ailment and your body is responding to that, there are a couple of other ways that you could focus on it. You could focus on what you're feeling in your body due to an emotion, due to a thought that you're having, the stress and how that affects you. Are you clenching your neck? Do you have a headache? Do you feel like a tightness? You're not breathing very well, or your gut is rumbly. All of these things can be tapped on in the same way, even though some perspectives consider emotions and physical to be separate. In tapping, it works to consider it all together because we're just communicating to our subconscious brain in a way that it can understand what we are relaying. So as long as we have that thread of understanding going between the different parts of our brain that communicate differently, then you're spot on. Another way that you can do is tapping for peak performance. And just to be clear, you can do this at any time. You don't have to wait until you're pain free. You don't have to wait until you're not affected by your emotions. If there is something that you're wanting that you don't currently have, you can choose to tap on that rather than releasing something that you have that you don't want. And it will still have an overall really wonderful effect on your body. So, say right now you want more flexibility. You want to be able to stand up and not feel like sharp pains of your muscles cramping when you stand up. Or you want to feel more energy. You want to have a clearer mind right now. You can tap on the positive aspect of that, and your body and your brain will still respond in support with a clearer mind right now. You can tap on the positive aspect of that, and your body and your brain will still respond in support, which can resolve some of the negative stuff that's happening. So, if you want to play around with that, then this is a good opportunity for that. So, let's go ahead and start tapping. Go ahead and get into your mind what it is that you want to focus on, whether it be a place in your body that is experiencing something you want to release, or a place in your body, and you can say overall, like energy, right, is usually overall, that you would like to receive. Give you a moment to figure that out. Okay, here we go. As I consider my physical body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider my physical body, as I consider my physical body, it's not ideal. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider my physical body, there are things that I want to change that are not changing yet. But I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay that I'm having this feeling about my body. It's okay that I have this desire for it to be different. It's okay if it doesn't feel okay. And I give myself permission right now to acknowledge everything that's attached to this. Everything that I feel that I have thought, whether it's rational, whether it's considered too big, whether it comes and goes or it's constant, I choose right now to hold space for it. And you know why? Because my experience is valid. And my experience is real. Of course, my body is having a response right now. Of course, it is. I'm not an infinite being. This body isn't full of magic. It's full of tiny little workers. billions of them. Some of them are acting a little goofy, maybe. But it's understandable. It's understandable and it's okay. Even if it's not what I want, even if I'm actively looking for it to be different, I choose right now to offer to myself compassion, understanding, support, nurture, and love. I wonder what could possibly be the impact of this part of me that is going to do what it's going to do. I have some control over the situation, but a lot of it is my body's doing what my body does. So I wonder, why does it matter what I think about it? Why would it matter if I throw a fit and say bad words to myself or simmer in all of the emotions versus holding space to hear myself and telling myself that it's okay and allowing myself to feel how I feel. I do not need to falsely be positive. That is as unhelpful as other things. But to just find a way to have compassion for myself through it. Well, if I were to consider this strictly from a biological standpoint, it is true that how I feel has a real effect on my body. I'm constantly producing hormones and messages that get sent through my body. Some I'm aware of and intentional with. A lot of them I'm not. It just happens and it's just what I'm feeling in the moment. Is it possible for me to really affect anything else just by allowing myself to choose how I feel? No, that's dumb. Uh, I can't choose how I feel. I just feel how I feel. And I have that response in my body, and that's it. And I just have to deal with it. And things are awful, or they're terrible, or they're hard. And that's just the way things are. Even if this is the response I feel to that, I acknowledge that that's how I feel. And I hold space to be curious.